Welcome to the Thrive Tribe Business Growth Podcast for business owners who want to start, grow and scale their businesses with practical advice, real experiences and honest conversations.
Hello, I'm Lucy.
And hello, I'm Mark.
And together we run the Thrive Tribe, where we support business owners through training, coaching and community.
So whether you're starting out or looking to scale, you're in the right place.
So, welcome back to the Thrive Tribe Business Growth Podcast. We are really excited this month because we've got a brand new programme that we are delivering across the East Midlands.
We are launching, it will start on the 1st of September, and it's a 16-week programme aimed for any businesses that want to get out of their comfort zone and progress into different counties of the East Midlands. So Lincolnshire, Nottinghamshire, Derbyshire, Leicestershire, Northamptonshire and Rutland. You can be in any one of those to start with. You can even look at obviously going and growing yourself within your own county, or you can look across and pick 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's entirely up to you. But basically it's a structured programme running for 16 weeks. Over 120 businesses all coming together from the various counties across the regions. And we're going to lead you forward using our 20 plus years of experience. It's going to be amazing.
Now, I say this is a new programme. It's actually probably 3 years in the making. We've been delivering exactly the same programme across the Lincolnshire for the last 3 years and bringing 20 odd years experience that we've been in business to the actual programme. So actually, you know, we've got a lot of testimonials and a lot of business owners that actually know how we can help them grow and how we've helped other businesses to grow.
Definitely. So tell everybody how we got started.
So we started in 2002. You came to me and said, I've got this idea. I want to start a training company. And I was like, okay, we can do that. That's fine. I'd already obviously had the background of having my parents both had businesses and so did my uncle. So I knew it was going to be hard work, but actually it was such a great time. We actually started, can you remember we had our first centre open with paint still fresh on the walls and people just coming in, and we actually made our whole annual turnover within the first month. It just started off so great, and then from there year on year we kind of grew that contract, didn't we? It was all funded learning. We were delivering IT skills, employability skills. We were delivering to Lincolnshire Police Force, West Mids Police. We were out in the community with laptops, setting things up like that. It was great. And we also obviously built a team around us at that time because we needed that capacity. Then in 2006, can you remember that we actually then moved across the whole country? We had the opportunity to tender for a national contract, which was just amazing. And we actually expanded within a year. I remember being down in Wellingborough teaching in our Wellingborough Centre, and we actually did our full annual contract in the last 3 months because that was one of our last centres to open, and oh my gosh, it was busy. We had we had the whole team coming in in helping out in those last few days, I remember. And we kind of just built it from there, really, didn't we? You know, we collected contracts and we had the best team around us. We were kind of in a great place. During that time, because we'd had the team around us, we went into, I did some further training in HR, which then led us to have that as a further offering later on. And then in 2014, we sent, remember, we dropped the kids off at nursery, and on the way back, we got a phone call from our ops manager at the time who said, have you seen the email? And that email basically said that we no longer had a contract. We no longer had that funded business. Now, this was a £2 million business, 50 staff, and oh my gosh, we'd just dropped off 2 18-month-olds and a 3-year-old at nursery, and we were like, okay, what we're going to do. We had all of those staff that relied on us as businesses, for their livelihood, and it was all just gone overnight. So we took the time out and we decided, actually, you and I have been working and working and working for our future, and our future was now. We unfortunately had to dismantle the business, made everybody redundant, which was the hardest thing that we've ever done.
And then we took some time, didn't we? So we did some travelling with our then young family, obviously making the most of our time. We went abroad. We did Australia for 6 months. And then when we came back, you took on a few roles doing HR for other people. I took on a few management roles for other training providers. It was good. Life was good. There was no stress, no pressure. But we knew there was something more again, didn't we? The company was still there, although dormant. And then we were just looking for our next thing. Looking, whether it was privately or funded. And then 2019 came along, /2020. Obviously, COVID came, and we saw some money available to offer online courses, which was our bag because we'd spent 13 years doing it, doing it really, really well. We knew what we were doing. And luckily, we were accepted as part of for a contract. And we provided online training during COVID times when obviously people couldn't, or the majority of people couldn't go and be face to face with people. And we grew that for another couple of years. In fact, the contract now is still in existence. We still work with that partner, provided funding learning, more face to face now. Obviously, things have opened up a few years ago from online learning. And then 3 years ago, we wanted to use our knowledge because we've obviously built up fantastic success, lost it. It was very, very sad, and then built up again. And we were thinking, wouldn't it be awesome if we could teach other businesses to do the same as what we've done?
And I had a conversation with somebody who actually said, what would you do if you didn't have to work? And I was like, that's a good question. Obviously, at the time we had 4 children because we'd had another one on when we'd got back from Australia. And I was like, I want to take the children travelling. I want to be able to show them the world. And I would volunteer to help businesses because I absolutely love talking about business with people. I like getting into the nitty gritty of actually what makes businesses work and how can we help them. So I said, do you know what? I would go and volunteer to help businesses. So she turned around and said to me, so why are you not doing that now? I was like, it's a very good question. So that's exactly where the Thrive Tribe was born, wasn't it? In terms of actually helping businesses to grow and having those businesses and communities around them to help them to grow and expand and learn together, which has been what we've been doing ever since 2023, I think. 3 years now we've been helping businesses, and we've helped so many businesses over that time, hundreds of businesses that we've helped and supported to grow. So now we're at the stage where we want to help even more businesses, and actually that's always been our long-term goal, hasn't it, in terms of we don't just want to stay in Lincolnshire. There's so many people that we can help, and we know how we can help them. We're fantastic at teaching, you're fantastic at coaching, and what we do very, very well is actually build community around people.
Nobody needs to do it alone, do they? That's the thing about business.
Yeah, exactly. So over the years, we've seen different businesses thrive for different reasons or are stuck for different reasons. So what do you think is the most common reason why businesses get stuck?
I think they get stuck because they get stuck in their ways of doing things. So I think the mentality is, I'm all right at this moment in time. To be fair, kind of like what we did, all the way back in 2015. They get used to what they're doing. They're confident. They're comfortable. They know their little secure space or their area of knowledge, and that's where they tend to stay. And then when something doesn't go quite right, contracts or work, then because they've not forward thought about what happens if something doesn't happen, I think that's a real thing for solopreneurs and small micro businesses need to consider.
So what would you say to people if you say, we've obviously grown a business and we're growing again? What would you say to people that said, well, it's all right for you. You've got the money, or you've got the time, or whatever.
I would say we've got 4 children, 3 teenagers, 1 10 as well, all doing various activities after school, all still have a school run to do. We all get the same time. We all get the 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. We value the time that we spend with our family, days out. And I think you've just got to be sensible about what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve, and make the most of those hours that you've put in your mind as to these are my working hours. Because we can be very, very busy, but busy doing nothing. I know that's cruel to say, but some people do. So from my point of view, it's just making the most of that time, and anyone can do it. Nothing makes us different than anybody else. But by teaching this and letting other people know how we've done it, we can hopefully help and inspire more people, to push and to do bigger and better things within their comfort zone.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? A lot of people want to have more time freedom, and they want to have the time, and a lot of people I think that running a business and growing a business is going to take up all their time and take them away from the family and things like that. But actually it doesn't. It gives you that time freedom, I think. We've had the time freedom by raising the children. We didn't have the luxury of having loads and loads of time, and we, like you say, we're just the same as anybody else. We want to spend time with the family, and that's why we've got a business and why we're growing it, is so that we've got that time freedom that we can give to people. And we've both got volunteer jobs as well during that time. We've both volunteered in that time, and we've still grown a business. So I think time is something that people do have as a barrier, but actually it's just utilising that resource, that time resource, effectively, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think especially nowadays, because we've got automation as well. So you'll be surprised how many things you can actually automate to make things easier in your day-to-day business roles, and people don't understand that that's there.
Yeah, and actually having the chaos of not having systems and processes. I love systems and processes. That's my bag. Whereas your bag's more kind of that big picture thinking, and having that. Yeah, we're going to have not just 10 people on a new program. We're going to have 100 people on a new program, and having that wider vision and actually having that thought and that mindset is just phenomenal, isn't it? So it's so important, I think. And I think a lot of other businesses get stuck because they maybe don't utilise the people around them, or even just tell people what they're doing. I think I'm a firm believer in what you put out to the universe is what you get back. Yep. And actually speaking about things and telling people what they're doing and having that visibility. And people might say, well, it's all right for you, you've got a marketing team, you've got this and the other, but we haven't. It's literally just you, me, and our employee Jason, and then we utilise other people around us to have those ideas and to bounce those ideas off to get visibility. We find that if you ask, people will answer you and will help you deliver as well.
Yeah, definitely. That verbalization is such a strong thing. Telling people what you've got planned, getting it out there, and I say people will come and help. The circle of the people that you have around you will all come to your aid, and that's the beauty of obviously what we build. It's that element where pretty much anything that you need in business, we will know somebody within the community that we have who will be able to help. And I think that leads then to businesses growing far more rapidly than what they ever imagined, and taking the bits they're not passionate about as well. That is such a huge thing. We all set up businesses for one or two reasons, and the exciting bit is the bit we're passionate about. All the other bits that go towards running a business and not being passionate about, I always say there'll become a time and a place where you can actually pass those on to other people to do, as you grow. And that's a big thing, just because I might say to somebody, you've got to have a bigger social media presence, as you grow, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have to do all the work. We can outsource, you can collaborate. Yeah. So yeah, please don't think that time is endless, but there's lots of opportunities to grow, when honestly you make the most of your time and do what you're passionate about.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is people find that they are stuck because they don't know. And a lot of the time we see a lot of people that say, oh, I don't have the IT skills to be able to do that, but actually that's taught skills. And being able to have, I think what we found is when we've got people in the tribe, we can then help them and shortcut things for them as well, because actually having those shortcuts is really useful, because we've been there before. We've tried and tested things and got them wrong, and actually then we can lean on those and learn from them, can't we? And actually then we can help somebody else shortcut that, and not actually have that as a barrier.
Yeah, definitely. But using our experience, and the people that are in our community, it's really important. So we've looked at what we've done at Volley over the years, 20 plus years experience, obviously with the coaching side that we're doing for businesses, and we've come up with what we know is going to be an excellent way to use our experience and our guidance, our accountability, the community that we've done to really get out there and to help, or turn our hundreds of businesses we've helped to thousands.
Yes. So we have a business growth model. In the centre of business growth model is in the Thrive Tribe. We've got 3 stages. So the is T stands for the thoughts that you have, the mindset that you are in. And I think that's a huge thing about what we've done, is actually your mindset is very big picture thinking. Everything's possible, and we've got that as a key element of our business. The H is for heart, actually the heart of the business. What is it that somebody stands for, and what is it that what are their values, what makes them different? And that's really the heart of the business. And then the E is the energy, actually where the energy flows is where the money goes, as they say. And having that energy, if you haven't got a passion for your business, it's not going to succeed. You need to have that energy. You need to bring that energy to the business. So in the middle of our wheel, we have our Thrive element, which really it stands for targets. People need to have, or we found that we need to have a target to aim towards. And then we come on to hone. We can hone our skills and also hone what we're doing as well. And then we move on to our resources. So we have an infinite amount of resources. We have time as a resource. We've got money. We need to look at our systems, our AI as a resource, our skills, the people around us as resources. So, we're looking at actually those resources that we've got and we need to bring into the project or the organisation. And then we need to actually implement it. And I think this is where a lot of businesses fall down, is actually the implementation. They maybe don't know how to implement something or how to do something. And a lot of businesses procrastinate a lot, we find, on different things. So actually implementing is the actual doing of the actual thing. We actually need to do something. It's all very good having the strategy, but if you don't follow it through, nothing's gonna happen. Visibility is also so important. V for visibility, and actually being able to tell people what you're doing. And it's not about necessarily being the best at something, it's about being the best known at something, and actually having that visibility. And that goes into our marketing and branding and a lot of other things, comes into visibility. And then the last thing that we do in our wheel is the evaluate. Actually, every program that we run, we evaluate it. We look at what we've done well, what we can do better, and then from that we then set our next targets. So as we kind of go round the wheel, we then set the targets for the next time from the evaluation of what we've learned. Everybody learns something. Even if you fail at something, you've learned something. So actually having that evaluation is really important. But I think the key really to everything that we've done is everything that kind of goes around all of that is our tribe. And we build that tribe through trust is a really important part of that. We need to be able to trust people, and we trust so easily, don't we? We live in a safe space, in a safe world. We trust that people are going to help us, and we also build that trust with people as well. We do give and help and build those relationships. So our R is for relationships. And actually, it's a two-way thing. You can't expect people to help you if you are not willing to give as well. And actually building those relationships, whether it be to have referral partners or whether it be employees that you're building relationships with that buy into what you're doing. I is for insights. So actually having being able to give insights and receive insights as well. You know, you only can think inside your sphere of knowledge, but actually going out into the wider world, you get so many insights and so many ideas. You know, we do this all the time, don't we? We speak to different people, and you know, I'm out all the time networking and things, and actually I come back and say, oh, I've had this idea because such and such has said something to me about it, or you know, and actually building those insights. And we do the same. We give insights to people as well within our tribe, and then having that is all part of that belonging. Actually, people want to belong to something. They want to belong to a brand, which is why you've got a lot of big businesses like Apple, for example, have got that belonging. People identify as Apple users, and you know, a lot of people that are Apple users won't go anywhere else because they have that belonging with that brand and that organisation. And it's the same with, you know, all levels of business, isn't it? We've got belonging within our tribe. Actually, the people that are in our community, we actually, I go like this a lot because that's what it's like. It's like we're giving everybody a big hug, really, and having everybody collected around us and with us. And a lot of it is that encouragement. We give so much encouragement to our businesses and to each other as well. And actually being able to encourage people and lift people up is really what our tribe is about as well. So that's kind of our model in a nutshell. And obviously all of those elements is, you've got hows in all of those, haven't you? You know, how you're actually going to be able to do that. And that's what we kind of teach in our program. And that's one of the things that we're going to be delivering in our East Midlands Business Growth Programme as well, actually having that model there. So some of our businesses have experienced this model as well, haven't they? So for example, in terms of the thoughts people have, Caroline has said from our last cohort, the Thrive Tribe completely transformed the way I look at myself as a business owner.
I think a lot of business owners obviously see what they do what they're passionate about, but do it very much in their locality, which obviously only has so much market reach. And I think looking at people's mindset, helping with people's mindset, helping with their structure, and especially with products and services, you know, you can serve so many more people than what you're currently doing. And I think for me, it's unlocking that potential in people and the way that they think, you know, and all the people that they can therefore help in the future.
In terms of Erin, she was very much in that implementation stage of the wheel. And Erin said, I've become better organised and we actually have systems in place now.
For the person that you mentioned, it was really apparent, did an absolute phenomenal job at everything that she did. But the only thing that was letting it down was the systems and the processes to be able to replicate that for future things that was happening. And I would say for any business, you know, having those systems and processes in place that you can replicate as you get bigger, as you get more clients and customers is so important. And that's now what she has in place.
Yeah. In terms of visibility on the wheel, Heidi said, I've doubled my Reiki clients. I now plan to schedule more content.
We do loads of work on know, like and trust. And Heidi was excellent at that. Basically, you know, we all knew what she did. The people in her current circle knew what she did, but not a lot of other people. So having an education piece getting out there more on socials, and it is scary, and I get that for anyone that's not used to putting themselves on video, but it just becomes easier and easier and easier the more that you do it. And once you get yourself out there and people see you, recognize your face, think of the people that we, you know, that everyone looks up to in business. People that they know, you know, they're the people that come on camera. You know, we always feel like you know them without actually having met them in person. That visibility on socials and having a plan is so important. And she aced that. It was really good to see.
And then in terms of energy in our in our centre, in the heart, Jonathan has said, I realised I had to get my business into gear pretty flipping quickly.
No, I love that. And I say that situation you've given there is somebody that was new to this area, had just moved into it. Lots of clients in their old area, not so many clients in the new area. And again, it's about finding out that aspiration. You know, he wanted to help many more people. And in the new area, he hit the ground running by obviously coming in and, you know, into one of our programs, mixing within the community, even picked up some business from within the Thrive Tribe. And it's so important there that wherever you go into, obviously with the new program that we've got, people going into different counties to get more work, it's so important to do it structured and within a way that they feel comfortable and safe. Yes, I will push people because I want them to do it quickly. I want them to do it strategically. But if you do that within the safe confines of having others to lean on, accountability, it works so much more. Yeah, and he did really, really well at doing that.
And then my last one is it just kind of iterates that belonging. So Julia said it's about the community.
Yeah, most definitely. All those people that you meet that are going to be on the program doing the same thing as you, striving for growth, you know, being a solopreneur or a micro business or an SME is really, really lonely. You know, you might have, you know, your circle in terms of people that you can talk to normally, you know, is usually family and friends. But if they're all working for others, it becomes really, really hard to actually find people that understand what you're going through. And that's the important thing about community, is that nobody's alone. You know, if you're going through a problem, I know somebody else that's going through the same problem, and also somebody that has actually, you know, solved that problem. You know, and that community spirit, community feel, you know, how we all get on, how we all want each other to succeed. And again, she really found the benefit of community, like everyone does that interacts and works with the Thrive Tribe.
So we've talked about a lot about kind of how we've helped people and things like that. But actually, should we just talk a little bit about how the program is structured and what elements are in the program?
So from the experience of running this over the last 3 years, we've fine-tuned it, you know, and I do always say on the programs, if anything hasn't worked, as long as you learn from it, then that is the main thing. You know, every day is a learning day. But we're now in a position where we've cracked it. We've got 16 weeks of weekly training. The biggest thing with that is, I always say, you know, find one thing to take away from a teaching session, but you must implement it. There's no point doing training, whatever you're doing, or qualifications, if you can't implement what you've learned. So I would say, if they take one thing away every week and implement it, then that's what I'm after. Something that's going to take them forward. With that, to go hand in hand with that, they obviously get the accountability with myself. We do some WhatsApp accountability as well, which is really, really important. We want to inspire everyone in the group and lead you all forward at the same time. So that accountability is really, really important. But you also get a one-to-one with me every month. And what that means is that we can work solely on your business and make you accountable for the plans that you're putting into place, the things you've said you're going to implement, to make sure that the needle of your business moves forward. We also have weekly networking. So we will be doing the networking on an evening, so obviously outside of the working day.
Or sometimes during the day as well.
Yeah, sometimes during the day as well. You know, so you can literally pick a mix in terms of what you get. But the whole idea is to meet the people that are doing the program with you. You're all heading for the same things, all different businesses. Imagine the power of having that community behind you, all wanting you to strive for success. And then we have in-person days. And we've run these many, many times to great success. We're actually going to be coming out into each of the counties once over the 16 weeks. And we're going to have an in-person day, you know, for the people there and for the people that want to go into those counties as well. Really, really important we get you together, you know, so you can meet people in person. Yes, you'd have seen them on training, you would have seen them on online networking, but that ability to meet people face-to-face is so, so important. And there's going to be a training element, and there's going to be guest speaker. There's going to be obviously in-person networking with the people that are there. and it's going to give you so much motivation to lead you forward. Every 3 weeks that these are on, starting in Lincolnshire, ending in Rutland.
And I think also in terms of the in-person days, it's not just about meeting with people, which is a really important part, but actually building confidence within those sessions and actually going home with something tangible at the end of it. I think in terms of how we teach and train is we're not just about giving content and about giving information. We actually want people to do something in that session and actually take something away. So for example, we'll be doing kind of maybe blueprint days and having honed your networking skills within that time. We're also, we would be encouraging people to go out to other networking groups as well as part of the programme. And having that, being able to talk about your business with other people is really important. And I think the other element of the programme as well is the fact that we've got the recordings. So all of the training sessions that we have, we're recording those, aren't we, and putting them online afterwards. We've got our own online learning portal that we host all of our training on, and they will be available for up to 3 months after the programme as well. So actually, in terms of value of the programme, when you told me how much we were going to charge for it, I was like, really? That's a lot of value for what the investment that people are getting. And I think in terms of the investment, because we've got that guarantee with it as well, we're just as invested as everybody else to help those businesses to grow. And yes, the training is in maybe a bigger group, but actually we're splitting that into 2 sessions, aren't we? So the groups aren't as big, but it's actually, we're still giving that one-to-one support throughout that as well. And whenever we run these programs, you and I are available on Messenger and things like that as well, aren't we? And being out and about in networking situations and groups and things, people have got access to us during those 16 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. And I think obviously just a couple of points you picked up on there. So the one-to-one networking with me is going to be every month. So you're going to get a session with me every month where we look bespokely at your business. What differentiates us, as you say, with other programs that you just might go learn from a book, it's a wonderful course, but it's that implementation that sets us apart. We want you to implement it. We'll check that you've implemented, because without implementation, you can't move the needle of your business forward. And, every session that we have, there'll be a little task to do. It won't be huge, but it'll be enough for you to put whatever you've learned into your business to move you forward. So important. We're also giving, you mentioned the guarantee. So for us, the guarantee is to almost make it like such an offer you can't refuse it, which is what we want. We want you to be our first cohort to take you across into other counties in the East Midlands. Whether it's growing yourself in the county that you're in and then picking the one next door, or you want to do all 6, it's entirely up to you. And what we've said is that the investment for us is £100 per month over 4 months, and plus VAT, so £480. If we can't get your business to double that to £960, which will be your total investment, then we will keep coaching you for up to 3 months, one-to-one after. No one's going to take that up, because everyone is going to ace and smash the targets that they set at the beginning. But that's how much I know and that we will do such a phenomenal job with whoever joins the programme.
Yeah, and it's exactly the same as what we've been doing throughout our other programmes, isn't it? We've been running 16-week programmes now for 3 years, and every time we've run it, we've had everyone that's completed the programme has had that achievement. They've had new business as a result of the programme by the end of the 16 weeks. Which sounds quite a big statement that we've made there, but actually it's like you say, the difference between our programmes and a lot of other programmes is the fact that we've got the community. That's a really big advantage of our programme, is the community, and I can't stress it enough, actually having people cheerleading for you and being able to introduce you to other people as well, because it's about those connections and about being able to be introduced to people. So that's the one element. And the other element is the implementation. It's not just about teaching you how to do a social media post, or teaching you how to become more visible, or, teaching you about making sure you've got those high targets or whatever other elements that we're teaching. It's about actually implementing that. And if you don't, you can learn as much as you want to, but unless you actually implement it, you're not going to move your business forward. And that's where our accountability comes in, isn't it? And those one-to-ones, and actually having that one-to-one support as well. It's not just a business program. It's actually having somebody there to bounce ideas off, to be able to say to you, have you thought of that? And then setting a plan for that month, and then actually going back and saying, have you done that plan? Because I think a lot of people need that accountability to actually then move their business forward. And like I say, we've been doing it for 16-week programs now for the last 3 years, and we know that this system works, and we know that this program works. So how do people actually get involved? How do people join our tribe?
Well, there's a link on the screen, programs.thethrivetribe.com/East Midlands, and that will take you to the page which gives you all of those details again, and plus a little more, a couple of bonuses that we've thrown in there for our first ever cohort across the East Midlands. Really, really simple. If you want a call with us, there is a link on there for a free 30-minute information/discovery call. If you've still got questions, which you are more than welcome to ask. There is an FAQ section as well on the page, so hopefully any questions are on there. But yeah, just please, come along and join. This is going to be such a phenomenal experience. We are so excited to take what we've had in Lincolnshire for the past 3 years and spread it across the East Midlands. And this is just the first part. So this is the ideas that we have. We know it works in Lincolnshire. This is going to work in East Midlands. And then next year, we're going to take it all over England. It's going to be a fantastic ride. And obviously, the first people that come in will then be invited to come across the rest of England with us in 2027.
Yeah. Excellent. World's our oyster.
Certainly is. That's 2028.
And what would you say to anybody that's still sitting on the fence?
I would say just think about your current position as a business owner, solopreneur, SME, micro business. We've all got so much potential in us, but a lot of us sometimes are guided by what other people think of us, potentially not having anyone around to support you in what you want to do. But imagine if you could get your product, service, business out there en masse and make a difference in people's lives. And that's what you need to look. You need to look at the big picture. We all have so much potential, but unfortunately we only get one shot at life. So it really is, take the bull by the horn, read the information, book a information call with either myself or Lucy. Let us answer, let us alleviate your fears. Remember as well, and say it's not all about money, but that guarantee that we've made as well. We've done it because we know what we can do, and we can help so many more people. This year it's going to be, between now and the end of the year, it's going to be hundreds, but then next year it'll be thousands and tens of thousands. Imagine part of being something. Just think about where you can go. It's really, really important to us that everyone's comfortable. So any questions, please let us know. We will be more than glad to help. And we're also, just talking about those bonuses, we're also putting together a blueprint to show you, obviously once you're enrolled onto the course, the program starts, we'll then show you what we did to get the 120 plus people onto the program. So you can use that yourself going forward.
Excellent. I'm really excited. Really excited.
So am I.
So you can join the programme with just £50 deposit, and then we can set up the monthly payments each month after that. So really low barrier to entry on this programme.
And remember, from 2027, when we run it again, we will be doubling the price. So this is a founder offer that we've made. So £50 plus VAT deposit, and then it's £87 per month plus VAT for September, October, November and December. It's going to be brilliant. Please join us because you won't regret it. Thanks so much for listening to the Thrive Tribe Business Growth Podcast.
If you found this useful, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and feel free to share it with another business owner who might need it.
And if you'd like more support, you can find us inside the Thrive Tribe community, or get in touch to find out more about our programs at thethrivetribe.com.
We'll see you in the next episode.